This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
The death toll of the bomb attacks that struck the northern Iraqi city of Baquba has risen to 31. More than 48 people were also wounded in the attacks. Our Al Arabiya correspondent said that the victims were killed in 2 separate car bomb attacks, targeting emergency crews in the city of Baquba. The explosions were followed by a 3rd car bomb attack, targeting the police chief who was visiting the victims at the local hospital. Police sources in Baquba told Al Arabiya channel that the suicide bomber was disguised as a nurse and was on board the ambulance that was used to transport the victims to the city hospital. The police added that they have seized and dismantled a 4th booby-trapped car that was about to detonate. Elsewhere in Iraq, the Baghdad Operations Command Center aired a videotape showing the confessions of 2 Iraqi suspects who were implicated in the Bloody Wednesday attacks, which killed more than 100 people and injured nearly 600 others. The spokesman for the Baghdad Operations Command Center, Lieutenant General Qasim Atta, said that a Syrian and a Saudi national were among the suspects arrested in the case.
I have the bomber in the car in the area of Alawi near the city bridge. The suicide bomber's name is Abu Bakr. The car was packed with explosives and delivered to the area in question. Then a person by the name of Abu Yasin and I went to the area of Alawi. Abu Yasin handed me a camera and told me to film the explosion that was about to occur. I told him that people would see us taking pictures and would implicate us in the bomb attack. In the midst of it, the blast struck, targeting the Iraqi Foreign Ministry.
The Electoral Commission said that 800 Iraqi forces from the police, army, and security agencies, as well as sick people in hospitals and prisoners, will be given the chance to vote early in more than 150 election stations located throughout the country. This special voting date will precede the general elections scheduled to take place on Sunday.
ساعات وتبدأ أولى مراحل الاقتراع الخاص في الانتخابات البرلمانية العراقية.
The special voting for the Iraqi parliamentary elections will start within the next few hours. The Independent Electoral Commission set the early elections to take place on March 4th.
الاقتراع يشمل منتسبي وزارتي الدفاع والداخلية بالإضافة للأشخاص
Members of the Defense and Interior Ministries, as well as prisoners who have received less than a 5-year term and sick people in the hospitals, will be allowed to vote. Until now, the Electoral Commission has not disclosed the official numbers of voters from the security forces and other groups. The objective of these early elections is to give these groups the opportunity to practice their right to vote.
أما تصويت قوى الأمن المسبق فيهدف إلى تفريغ تلك القوات لتطبيق
The security forces will vote ahead of the elections so that they can implement the security plans that were put in place by the Election Security Committee. The central plan is the most important one and calls for deploying 14 military brigades from the Defense Ministry throughout Iraq's cities. It will be the first line of defense. The second line of defense is the deployment of 500,000 members of the Interior Ministry near the election stations in critical areas. Members of the intelligence agencies will be in charge of the third line of defense, which will interact directly with the voters. Early voting of the armed forces and the security plans are aimed at maintaining security in Iraq on the day of the elections and avoiding any possible security breaches.
العراقيون إلى صناديق الاقتراع يوم الأحد وسط توقعات باتساع المشاركة الشعبية.
Iraqis will be heading to the voting booth on Sunday. A large number of people are expected to participate in these elections, in which 20 million voters will select 325 representatives. This Iraqi democracy displeases royal systems, where corrupt officials mobilize their media instruments and spread the news of Maliki issuing an arrest warrant for al-Sadr, an allegation strongly denied by the Iraqi government. The Sadrist group accused the promoters of this rumor of inciting sedition. People are hoping the elections will unite the country and end the occupation. The latest development indicates a war of rumor.
نفت الحكومة العراقية نفيا قاطعا أن تكون قد أصدرت مذكرة باعتقال.
The Iraqi government strongly denied that it issued an arrest warrant for the leader of the Sadrists, Mr. Muqtada Sadr, affirming that he is welcome in Iraq and is part of the political process.
باسم الحكومة علي الدباغ إن عودة الصدر ضرورة وطنية لقيادة التيار.
Government spokesman Ali Dabbagh said that Sadr's return is important for Iraq, so he can lead one of the most influential political groups in Iraq. He indicated that the rumors were part of dishonorable electoral campaigns. The Sadrist group said that these rumors are aimed at inciting sedition and disturbing the election process. The group's leader, Muqtada Sadr, is expected to return to Iraq soon, after he fled the country to avoid the U.S. occupation forces' treacherous security crackdown. He is calling out to the majority of people, urging them to participate in the elections and political process to pave the way for Iraq to attain security, end the occupation, and achieve independence and national unity. It is worth pointing out that a Saudi-sponsored media network promoted the rumors of the government issuing an arrest warrant for Sadr, linking him to the assassination of Mr. Abdel Majid al-Khouch in the holy city of Najaf in April 2003. Al-Sadr strongly denied any connection to it.
Welcome Sheikh Mazen al-Saadi from Baghdad, leader of the Sadrist group. A Saudi-sponsored media network promoted the rumor that Prime Minister Maliki passed a resolution in the Security Council of the Ministry of Interior to issue an arrest warrant for Mr. Muqtada al-Sadr if he returns to Iraq. How accurate is this information?
Of course, Saudi Arabia's negative role in Iraq and especially in the elections is present. This is clear to all political observers in Iraq. They believe that Saudi Arabia plays a prominent role to change and violate the political process in Iraq and is calling for jihad. This jihad, by its very definition, is hostile to the Iraqi people, supports terrorism, and attempts to instigate sectarian strife among the Iraqi public. Therefore, Saudi Arabia's negative role has been present in Iraq since the fall of the former regime and up until now. Anyone who follows the political situation in Iraq is familiar with this role. But the rumor about the arrest warrant, does it actually exist? Frankly, we cannot prove it 100%, and the government strongly denied the existence of this arrest warrant. The government rushed to deny that a warrant was issued, but until now it has not been confirmed whether the rumor is true or not.
أخضر لإجراء مفاوضات غير مباشرة بين الفلسطينيين والإسرائيليين.
Arab foreign ministers approved indirect talks between the Palestinians and the Israelis, stipulating that they have to be completed within 4 months.
عللوا موافقتهم على إجراء هذه المفاوضات كمبادرة لإعطاء فرصة.
They justified their decision by stating that this initiative will provide Americans with the opportunity to revive the peace process. However, they pointed out that if these negotiations are not successful, that they will take a series of measures, including going to the UN Security Council. The decision was made this morning during the Arab Peace Initiative Follow-up Committee's meeting, which was held at the headquarters of the Arab League. 15 Arab foreign ministers attended the meeting, including Arab League Secretary General Amir Moussa and Syria's ambassador to Cairo, Yusuf Ahmed.
While the
approval of the U.S. special proposal for indirect talks with Israel was granted at the headquarters of the Arab League, the Palestinian Liberation Movement, the PLO, has still not made a decision. Palestinian chief negotiator Sa'eb Barkat, who participated in the Cairo meeting, announced that the executive committee of the PLO will hold a meeting in Ramallah on Saturday to decide on the American proposal. According to a news report that we received a short while ago, the Hebrew state quickly welcomed the decision that was made in Cairo, which approved the U.S. proposal of holding indirect talks between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Our reporter Ahmed Al-Kalani joins us from Cairo. Do you have any information pertaining to the Arab foreign minister's decision to approve indirect talks with Israel?
Yes, it seems that the meeting went smoothly. As you know, the opening session of the extended meeting of Arab foreign ministers started a few moments ago. Shortly before this meeting, Palestinian chief negotiator Sa'eb Barkat announced that the approval for the U.S.-sponsored indirect talks between Palestinians and Israelis was granted. This is an unusual procedure because the Arab League Secretary General usually makes these announcements. This is what happened at the opening ceremony of the Arab foreign ministers' meeting.
Finding
the pertinent facts in the murder case of al-Mamkhouh remains a top priority for the Emirates of Dubai and its security agencies. This is what Dubai Police Chief Dahi Khalfan reiterated today, adding that he will seek arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the head of the Mossad intelligence agency Mir Dagan. Muna Abu Diab reports.
منذ اليوم الأول لظهورها إلى العلن حافظت هذه الصور على صدارة موقعها على أجندة الأخبار العالمية.
From the first day it was made public and until now, this footage continues to make international headlines. The credit goes to the Dubai Police Department and its investigation team. The Dubai investigation team called today for the arrests of the Israeli Prime Minister and the head of the Mossad intelligence agency. In a statement to the press, Dubai Police Chief Lieutenant General Dahi Khalfan reiterated that Dubai is committed to pursuing and arresting all suspects in the case of al-Mamkhouh, who was assassinated on the Emirates soil. According to Khalfan, there's strong evidence linking Israeli spy agents to the murder, as the police investigation has shown. This requires us to issue arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the head of the Mossad intelligence agency, Khalfan added. The operation was executed over a month ago, but it only took 20 hours after the crime was committed to begin following leads. In an exclusive interview with Al Sharq Awsat newspaper, the Dubai police chief confirmed that his officers relied on nearly 10,000 security cameras to connect the dots in the case of al-Mamkhouh. In addition, the police have followed the lead of more than 300 taxi drivers in order to track the cars used by the assassins. Moreover, the Dubai Police Department has summoned the files of more than 15,000 Europeans who visit Dubai on a daily basis. Khalfan said that the police used the same technique Bedouins use to track a missing camel by looking at it and know from the track where it belongs. Based on this method, the Dubai police were able to reveal the details of the operation after only 20 hours. He further said that the police have analyzed more than 600 hours of security footage. In a direct message to the masterminds of the Dubai murder, Khalfan said that the Mossad has used methods that are 20 years old and described the way the team was disguised as very naive. Khalfan said that one more issue remains unclear at this point in reference to those who betrayed al-Mabhouh and passed information to the assassins. This information might be known only to those in close circuit to al-Mabhouh.
The news now, and a last-minute request by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu managed to convince Jerusalem mayor near Barkat to put off his controversial plan to build a park in the Silwan neighborhood of eastern Jerusalem. We get more on this report.
Just hours before Jerusalem mayor Nir Barkat intended to present his plan to build a garden in the Silwan area known as Al-Bustan or Gan HaMelech, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked him to allot more time to try and reach an understanding with the Silwan residents regarding demolishing their houses for the project. Apparently concerned about negative fallout, Netanyahu said he had no intention of interfering with municipal affairs, but that there were many interested parties keen on stirring up a dispute and presenting a distorted picture of the situation. Barkat agreed to Netanyahu's plea. Discussion in the city council will be postponed, and talks and meetings with Silwan residents will continue. According to Barkat's plan, some 20 houses spread along the western part of the Silwan neighborhood will be demolished so that an archaeological park can be built on their lots. In exchange, the evacuated residents will receive permits to rebuild up to 4 stories high in the neighborhood's eastern section. But the plan is being rejected, with protesters saying a new park won't be any benefit to the residents.
Well, we already have a national park up here, not so far, a few meters from here, and we see that the Palestinian residents have not benefit much from the existence of this national park. You can see the situation, the level of the infrastructure in this Palestinian neighborhood of Silwan. They did not have a single benefit from the very excessive touristic presence in the national park, so there is no reason to believe that another national park or archaeological park will do anything to improve their daily lives.
Part of Barkat's plan will retroactively allow building permits to a number of other houses. There are currently 88 buildings in the neighborhood that were built without the proper building permits. The mayor's plan to put a park here in the bottom of Silwan is both a political and a civic issue. The city is arguing that such a park will provide jobs and income for the many tourists that will be coming here, as well as provide legal housing for the residents and take care of the situation regarding water and electricity. The residents here, however, are afraid that the plan will marginalize them, push them outside their own neighborhood, and make them strangers here in Silwan. Eli Wogelanter, IBA News.
Prime Minister Netanyahu today lashed out at the slow pace of international pressure against the Iranian nuclear program. Netanyahu told the Knesset Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee that the Iranian arms train is traveling at top speed while the world is faltering. However, Netanyahu added that political progress had been made toward the implementation of tough sanctions. Turning to negotiations for captured IDF soldier Gilad Shalit, the Prime Minister admitted that the talks are deadlocked. Netanyahu said that he has been waiting for 3 months for Hamas' response to the deal, but none has been forthcoming. Netanyahu said he's willing to release murderers, but not to locations from where they will easily be able to renew their terrorist activities. Netanyahu pointed out that previous prisoner deals, such as the Jabril and Tannenbaum cases, freed security prisoners who then returned to their murderous ways and took the lives of more than 100 Israelis. Security forces today dismantled a makeshift synagogue in the outpost of Givat Menachem near the settlement of Nachliel, located in the western Benjamin region. This was the 3rd time the structure was built by settlers and destroyed by security forces. The structure was erected in violation of the construction moratorium imposed on West Bank settlements. Masked settlers hurled rocks at the security forces during the demolition operation. No injuries were reported in the incident.
أعود أيضا إلى موضوع من أكثر الموضوعات التي اخترتموها وهو
One of the most visited stories on the BBC's website is the interview with Mossab Hassan Youssef, the son of Hamas leader Hassan Youssef.
الموضوع واللقاء الذي سنختار لكم جزء يسير منه لبث عليكم.
We will broadcast a short clip of this interview now. Let's watch it.
بعض ما جاء في هذه المقابلة.
I didn't betray him. I betrayed his understanding.
I did not betray him. I betrayed his understanding of heroism. What did he expect of me? Did he want me to become a suicide bomber? Did he want me to become a hero? I love him as a father, but ideologically we differ. I am at war with his God, the one he prays to 5 times a day. If I had a dead soul, that is scary to me. At least now I live in peace. To talk about danger, I have been in danger my entire life.
Small groups acting like Chicago's Al Capone Mafia are wreaking havoc in Lebanon, and with no one to deter them, they are destroying dance clubs and coffee shops. We leave you with a report of Rami Amin.
They shot the bodyguards at the entrance. They shot one in the leg and stomach, and shot the other one in both his legs. They went inside, shot 20 rounds of bullets, and injured the manager. We notified the police, but the armed group continued to shoot as they were walking away from us, all the way to Venetia Street. As they were passing by on the street, they were shooting at the windows. There was one police patrol unit, but it pretended not to see them.
All of a sudden, 30 or 35 armed individuals wearing military uniforms broke all the glass in the bar and on the tables.
All of a sudden, 5 individuals took their weapons out and started shooting. One of them was looking for a person by the name of Mazen, and when he found him, he shot him 3 times. Then they went out and kept on shooting everything. When they were outside, they were talking about how they're the most powerful people and how they can beat anyone regardless of how big they are. They said that they don't care about ministers or parliament members. They also told us that they were not done with us and that they would be back.
All I can say about these incidents is that the perpetrators don't have anything to deter them. This kind of behavior and the fact that they are acting this way in public without having any remorse has a lot of implications. Armed groups come and go and use up a huge quantity of bullets. They take their time and a lot of blood is shed as a result. Then they simply go back to wherever they came from. Some were even able to leave Lebanon.
الخروج برات لبنان هذا الحدث الأخطر ما فيه أنه كان من المناسب.
The most dangerous thing about this matter is the fact that the government did not swiftly control the situation.
وهذا يعني بنظر المجتمع وبنظر المتابعين للخبر.
The public who saw this incident in the media believes that the government did not try to stop the perpetrators, regardless of whether or not they were directly involved.
إن كانوا متورطين بشكل مباشر أو غير مباشر. إنما هذا الحادث يحدث وحدث.
It's true that these kinds of incidents take place in New York, Paris, Cannes, and Nice. Some people have weapons and they do these kinds of things. Lebanon is not the only country whose citizens carry arms.
لا بل أنا أعتقد أن كمية السلاح المنتشرة لدى اللبنانيين وكمية المخدرات الموجودة في البلاد وكمية
In fact, if we take into consideration the large number of outlaws, the large quantities of weapons and drugs, and the high level of corruption, then what took place is not surprising.
يجب أن يعني نتوقع أن يكون نسبة الحوادث كهذه أكثر بكثير مما هو عليه. لا هذا أمر.
This issue must be resolved in a comprehensive manner. As we have said earlier, we must take tangible and serious steps to control who has weapons.
وتراخيص السلاح بشكل جدي أكثر وتحسين القضاء.
We must also improve the judicial system. The security service must continue to exert gradual efforts so that it can have complete control over the situation. We hope that they can do that quickly.
في وقت سريع ولا شيء يدعو إلى قلق استثنائي.
Turkey has warned American lawmakers not to adopt a resolution to recognize the mass killing of Armenians in 1915 as genocide. Jody Sobral met with a member of the Turkish-Armenian community who believes that the vote won't help reconciliation between Turkey and Armenia and could, on the contrary, have a damaging effect.
Bu yana başlayan bir süreç vardır.
There is an ongoing process which started in Switzerland where the protocols were signed and continues with our goodwill. I believe we will reach a conclusion if this mutual goodwill continues. However, if a wrong step is taken on March 4th or on April 24th, the process will be undermined.
These were strong words of warning by the Turkish Prime Minister aimed at the US House Foreign Affairs Committee, which plans to discuss a resolution on Thursday that would brand the mass killing of Armenians in Ottoman Turkey as genocide. Turkey says this would have a damaging effect on reconciliation efforts underway. The two countries signed a deal in October last year to establish diplomatic ties and open their border. But the process has hit hurdles and neither countries have yet ratified the protocol. Observers say that even if the resolution were adopted, it wouldn't have a legally binding impact on Turkey in the short term, but could have deeper consequences.
There would be no real effect legally if the resolution was adopted, but it's a psychological one. If the US does this, it will put Turkey on a list of countries labeled with genocide. One way or the other, it will leave a black mark on Turkey's international record.
Hagop, a Turkish Armenian who lives in Istanbul, disagrees with his Armenian kin in the diaspora and the US lawmakers who want to adopt this bill. They say that up to 1.5 million people were killed in an act of genocide. Hagop's account is quite different.
Look, during the Ottoman Empire there was no genocide. There was forced immigration and people lost their properties and even died. But if you call it a genocide, it implies you exterminated a community. This isn't what happened during the Ottoman Empire. There was a friendship with Armenians.
He says that other countries shouldn't meddle in Turkish affairs.
I am Armenian, but first I am Turk. I grew up here. I feel like a Turkish Armenian. But these days, people are being divided by different labels. Now people say, are you Kurdish? Are you Armenian? There is a problem.
NATO member Turkey is a strategic ally for America, and Obama promised to recognize the genocide during his election campaign. Turkey is now watching to see if Obama will honor his campaign pledges or whether he will step into the shoes of his predecessor and prevent the resolution from being adopted, something that could affect Turkish-US relations in the long term. Jody Sobral, Press TV, Istanbul.
Get more news about the Middle East online at linktv.org/Mosaic. The Mosaic webpage offers a complete archive of Mosaic programs, program transcripts, the Mosaic video podcast, and the Mosaic Intelligence Report, a weekly analysis of the hottest stories from the Middle East. The views expressed on Mosaic are those of the participating broadcasters, not Link TV or its sponsors. The production of Mosaic is made possible with the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.